Hey, good day, everyone. This is Wally with Reloading Systems. Hey, I've had a lot of questions lately on feeder bowls as far as running and operating, and so this is like part three on what the series I'm doing. So we're going to start with the air system. So on the air system, here we are. We got air. This will blow the aluminum cases off. The best way to set this up is there's your air regulator. Turn your air pressure up when the bowl's running, and then it'll start blowing off the brass cases. Then reduce the air pressure so the brass cases stay in the bowl but make a little bit of movement. Then drop in a couple aluminum cases and make sure that as it comes by, the air is blowing them off into the port. On this particular bowl, this is for black dot ammunition. You see how the case is riding on top of it here. This is one thing that when it gets to the kicker, it'll drop in the wrong bin. This port right here, where my finger is also an air regulator. So that air regulator, when it comes around, will actually blow the case off back into the bowl. On this particular model, it is this gauge right here. And typically you want to run that at the lowest air pressure possible. Sometimes it may not even read on the gauge, but you want to get that just where it's blowing off the cases. The other thing is when you're running a feeder bowl, as far as speed of the bowl, you want to make sure that the cases, when they're coming around the rails, are steady, not erratic. And I'll run the bowl in a minute and show you. The other thing is, on my bowls, there's two Allen screws. You see right there on the kickers. You adjust those for the height of the brass. Here is 9mm, and you kind of see how it's walking on, and then the case nearest the hole right here, how that case is starting to tilt. And then if this bowl went, here's what will happen. And of course, it's not going to work because I'm doing a video. And then they walk off. So you kind of saw the height of the brass should be on the very leading end of the brass. These kickers are adjustable. So sometimes right here, these nuts, they're adjustable where it'll tilt in. What you want is the brass on the bowl. I'm going to push that back so the brass is on the bowl, and then when the brass comes, it'll slowly start to walk. If this angle is too heavy, where this end is on too much of an angle in this way, the brass will fall over like that. So that's kind of adjusting the kicker. Loosen to the two screws to the height you desire, and then run the bowl and check it. The other thing on a feeder bowl is very, very important on the mounting system. This is on a stout table, but if all 4 points of this legs, right here where my foot is not touching the ground, you will get a rattle, and it could affect the bowl. So what I do is when I run anything on a table, have a weird noise. On this particular bowl, I had to add a shim because my floor's not level. I'll run the bowl and I just push on it and the noise went away. So I just had to put a small wood shim underneath. Obviously this bowl's being shipped out, so I don't need no long-term deal going on with that. The other thing is that people are confused with, here's a dip switch. So right now, that dip switch, that would be calling for brass, which would, then the brass will come out of the hopper and fill the bowl. The brass is going in a circle. When enough brass comes, now that will shut off the hopper. So this is nothing but a light switch on off that's controlling the brass flow out of the hopper. That allows you not to have too much brass in the bowl itself, which will create cases getting on top of cases. So if you run less brass, that'll help to eliminate that. And also a bowl is load sensitive. So too much brass can affect the tune of the bowl. So it covers quite a bit. In a second I'm going to run it.